Hi there. I'm Joelle Hill with Hill Family Sleep Solutions, and thanks for joining me for Let's Talk Sleep. I am just going to see if I can get myself um, onto Instagram. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, I'm a little distracted. My dog just took off and ran away just before I let them out before I came on here, so they would have a treat and go lay down, and he's taken off. So might be a little distracted. We'll see. Environment to sleep, the sleep environment, something else might be going on. So give it more than one shot. Stimulating and what is calming to them. And that's something that you know is when we're thinking happening in the household. And then bedtime. Bedtime means alone would be a great example of that. And it also have to lowering lights, dimming if you have them, kind of making the whole house a bit more calm. Rewire that time. So we need time away from our screens, what that might look like. So I have a whole talk on that, and I'll be doing some more posts and more details about the impacts of screens on sleep. Definitely is a factor for sure. So I always encourage. Another thing to consider is the use of transitional objects. So they can be, they're not just for babies and toddlers. Transitional objects can move with you as you go, as you get older, and they can look different, of course. But those items that are associated with sleep. So making those connections with those positive associations of things that you associate with sleep. So for a younger child, it would be a special blanket that's only used for bed, or a stuffy, or a certain noise, or a certain pillow. As we get older, that we bring out or pull out, that we helps the body to signify that sleep is coming. So pulling out those pulling out those items in that wind down routine um, chemically help to prepare the body for sleep, as well as that piece of that association. Um, as young as 8 weeks or so, our bodies really look for those patterns of predictability. So having those pieces, those transitional objects in our lives to help with that shift to that sleep can be a lifelong benefit. So you're never too old to have a transitional object. Um, Reading books. So this is kind of getting more into the bedtime routine, but the wind down routine. So if I'm reading a book as part of my wind down routine before I prepare for bed, um, the book I'm going to be reading is going to be something that's not a page turner. So it's not exciting and engaging or upregulating, kind of moving into what's next, what's going to happen. I have to keep reading into that next chapter. So thinking about having a daytime reading book for that kind of reading, and having a more pleasant, relaxing, something that you can read, but it's not a page turner in that time, in that wind down time to preparing for sleep. So, or a younger child, you can do reading some books and then moving to ending with the same kind of predictable book that you end with. So I love Goodnight Moon. It's one of my favorites in terms of being that last that helps to signify that bed is coming. The last tip in terms of a strategy is avoid vigorous activity in that wind down time. So there's absolutely time for activity during the day, but when you're thinking about movement, and often families or parents think that they need to get the wigglies out, or get that burst of energy before heading to bed. But when it's unstructured, really vigorous or active activity, jumping on the couch or something like that, that just upregulates our bodies and our systems. So that's not helpful in terms of preparing for sleep. So if you're thinking of a more of a structured movement or activity that can be helpful for wind down, thinking more like stretches, child yoga, laying on the ground, grounding to the floor or the grass, or to the floor. More body points that are on the floor, the more grounding and connected that is, and regulating to our systems to kind of bring us back. So thinking about that, those kind of activities. So avoiding more of those jumping on the trampoline kind of activities, but things that are more rhythmic. Even a walk or a bike ride is a little bit more rhythmic, has some more rhythm to it, and helps to regulate your body. So I see Sherry had joined. Nice. Hi Sherry, nice to see you. So those are my 6 tips in terms of why and how the wind down time is important and to think about. If you want more information, please feel to DM me. You can book a discovery call with me to find out how I can help you. Or I do have a top 5 sleep tips for children with special needs. You can message me to get that. I'm working on getting that onto my website for a download. But until then, you can reach out to me, and happy sleeping, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining.